Saying good morning to our listeners via Classic 105.5, Classic 105.9. Good morning once again and welcome. It's a Big Morning Buzz here. Your host GT with you as usual. Let me say good morning also to our viewers via GBN TV. Whether you're viewing channel 711 or channels 20, good morning and welcome. It's a Mid Morning Buzz for you this morning here. And in the Mid Morning Buzz this morning, we talking Intercol Games 2023. And I do have my guest with me this morning. Let me say good morning to him. That's Mr. John L. Mitchell. Let me say good morning to him. Good morning to you, sir. How are you doing? Welcome to the Mid Morning Buzz.
Good morning to you, GT. Good morning to the GBN family, those who are viewing, those who are listening, wherever you are. A pleasant good morning.
All right, man. Well, 2023 Intercol Games is just if I could say it like that, it's just a matter of days away. Tell me preparations, how things are going. You know, the athletes, how are they feeling, the enthusiasm. Let me know what's up.
Yes, as you so rightly say, Intercol 2023, Republic Bank Intercol 2023 is just a matter of days away. We begin on Tuesday the 28th and we move right down to Thursday the 30th of March. We have three packed, exciting days of events carded for Intercol. It is something I would say to you, and it is an event that you do not want to miss. We have been working feverishly in the background to ensure that we have a product that all of our patrons would be satisfied with. Likewise, ensure that our athletes are well cared for, well taken care of. So we have something about 76 thereabouts, 75 to 76 events thereabouts, and these events will be spread across 3 days. Each day, and I want you to get this, each day we have final events. Every single day we have both track and field. So for example, for those of you thinking about missing it and you don't want to do that, on day one we have all the 400-meter finals. Day two, all the 200-meter finals, and also the preliminary relays. We have that. Day three, we have all of the 100-meter finals. And we are mixing these in with the 800s, the 1500s, the 3000s, 5000s, and together with some field events. So the days will be packed. When we look at the athletes whom we have, we will guarantee you we are going to get some quality performances. For those of you who have followed some of these sporting activities throughout the year, you realize that we have a cadre of athletes who have been training. The clubs have been working feverishly with them, and they are at a point where their performances are exceptional. If you got a chance to look at the 400 meters and the 200 meters male at the Greater Athletics Association's national champ, you realize that the under 20 male, there's a significant battle there. We have some blistering times, and even in the field with Raven Telesford and some of these other young men, and the throws that they are making, I believe that we are in a really good place, ready for Intercol 2023.
Great, love to hear that. No, I've been listening and been hearing, you know, the talk around. We're talking about the introduction of a new combined events this year. Tell us a little bit more about that, if there's details you could share about that for listening and viewing audience.
Definitely. The combined events is something very similar. Well, we have what's called the heptathlon and the octathlon. The heptathlon, you have 7 disciplines. When I say 7 disciplines, we have the hurdles, a 100-meter hurdles. There's a 200 meters. There's a 800. We have javelin. We have the long jump, high jump. So there are a number of events in that. So that's why you call it a combined event. So that's for the females. So they do 7 events over a 2-day period. This event will be on day 1 and day 2. So day 2 will be the finals of that. And the octathlon is an 8 event, 8 disciplines in one event. That one is a males, and it's on that 20 events. So that one again is over 2 days. So the both events go both on day 1 and on day 2. You would want to appreciate it in the sense that our own Lyndon Victor and Kurt Felix, these are the events that they've been participating in. When you hear about the combined events, it's the decathlon. So that's the 10-event one. But for under 20 boys and girls, we are looking at the 8 and the 7 events. So it's the very first time we are introducing that. Grenada has been doing well through Lyndon and Kurt. We have seen what they've done out there for us. Johnny Thomas before them. We've seen what she's also done as she continues to do in the colleges in the US. So we believe that exposing our athletes to such, it also prepares them for being a part of such major events in time to come. So we are excited about that. The schools are also excited. Some of these athletes, they also participated in the national champs to get a feel of it. So I believe it is something that will be well received by all of our athletes. They have special treatment. They'll have the special quarters where they'll be stationed. We'll have a referee, a special official in charge of them, both male and female, taking care of them throughout the 2 days. So yes, they will be with the teams, but not necessarily with the team during the periods of competition. They'll be housed specially and be treated in a manner where they will be able to get rest and well taken care of. So we are excited about those
Tell me,
opportunities.
in combination of schools this year, for the viewing and listening public, maybe for me, who's not an individual that always into paying attention to that, how many schools are we expecting participating in the competition this year?
It's huge. Out of the 25 secondary schools on island, we have 24 of the schools who have registered athletes for that event. So we
And
close
that,
to
is that
almost a
inclusive?
thousand,
Is that inclusive of Carriacou and Carriacou also?
inclusive inclusive of Bishop's College and Hillsborough Secondary. We have almost 1,000 athletes registered to participate over the next 3 days. So I'm telling you, we coming back into a full-fledged 3 day intercall. The schools are on board. They have been preparing. They have been working hard. The principals have been working well with the schools. And for you, the public, even security, the Royal Grenada Police Force, they've been working closely with us. And there'll be a number of security measures put in place to mitigate against issues of violence and drugs and all of those things. And while I'm at that, I just want to highlight that all of our students coming in, no backpacks, and the principals have been stressing that to them. No backpacks would be allowed where the students will be gathered on the bleachers. And also to you, the general public, you're coming in, you want to understand security measures and all of that. Be prepared to go through some searches or so. They would ask you to open up your bags and they would want to have a look and all of those things because it is an event that we want to make sure that when we leave it, it's pristine, it's clean, it's pure, and it is something that Grenada would be proud of. And why I'm saying that, this event is going to be streamed live all over the world. It's a pay-per-view event. An event that is pay-per-view, people are paying to see a product. And if they are paying to see a product, we have to ensure that the quality going out there is also exceptional.
All
So
right.
the local patrons, you don't have to worry. Let me just quickly add in that there. So the local patrons, you don't have to worry. TNR Communications will be bringing it live, but GBN, GIS, they will be getting a live feed from that. So they will be able to bring it and broadcast it live to you. But for the outside, the persons in the diaspora, it's pay-per-view.
All right. That's interesting because this was one of the questions I was scared to ask you, but you actually got in because I've been looking at it in terms of the production of it this year, in terms of the live streaming for folks in the diaspora. They would have an option of able to view the games live, pay per view. So I was, and you did answer that in some way or the other, where you said, for the local folks who may be home and interested in viewing it, they have the option, yes, to be live via GBN or GBN here and GIS. Now tell me, the overall production of the games this year in terms of from the managerial point, how are they feeling about it? What difference are we looking forward to for 2023 in terms of Intercol games?
We've added a number of components to ensure that we have a quality product. A matter of fact, after last night we had a meeting up to about almost 9 o'clock, and all the key players involved, and that's outside of the Principals Association who manage the event. We're talking about media production, event production. We're talking about deals. We're talking about security protocol. All of these pieces of the puzzle, we've had them in place. Seeing that we're having that event pay per view, we have to make sure that the quality that is going on there is really good. So we have done a number of things. We've engaged Richie Olivier and his company, TNR Communications. And just quickly before we go on, tickets are the pay-per-view package is online, is reasonable. For the first day, it is $7.99 US. Second day, $7.99 US. Third day, $12.99 US. But you can get a season pass for 25 US. So it's affordable. It is something that we can work with. Now, one of the things we've introduced for the very first time is what we call video referee. The video referee is one who will be there behind that monitor, looking at all aspects and every single thing that happens on the track. So as soon as an infringement occurs, that video referee can pick it up and make the necessary decisions before you can even think about anything. So we are adding quality. The gaps, we are working on making sure that there are no gaps in the games. So we should have smooth flow of medal presentation, one event into the next. So we are working closely with our schools to make sure that they're on top of those things and they're working with us. We have met with all of our schools and the coaches. We have met with them. We have met with all of our technical officials, and Grenada boasts of some of the most highly qualified technical officials. They've been commended for that. So we've been working with them, and we are trying to get them to understand why it is that we need to have an event of such magnitude, well presented, well catered for, because we have a public that's paying to come into the games and sitting, and we have to ensure that we satisfy them likewise. As much as we care for the athletes, we also have to care for the public.
All right. Tell me, what are some of the major highlights that the viewing and listen public could look forward to in the 2023 Intercol game? What are some of that's the special highlights? Maybe you don't want to spill the bean, get people to be, but kind of give me something that would raise the anticipation that folks will, especially those in the diaspora, will want to make sure they spend their time, spend that money to get that pay-per-view and look at the games. What are some of those special highlights that we could be looking forward to?
And I want to say it this way. Every single day is a special highlight. Note what I said to you, how the spread of events are. Well, we have the 400-meter boys and even the girls on that day. If you followed national champs, we had guys who were running sub 47. Never since Kirani James and Rondell Bartholomew, the level of competition that we have seen among our athletes this year, it's been even greater. We have had a group, like, for example, in the 200 meters under 20 points. This year, the Grenada Athletics Association National Champs, we had 5 boys running 21 point something under 22 seconds. Outside of Kirani and Rondell over the years, we've never had that. We have Aliyah Gidari and all the others in the multi-events, and the level of competition that's there. Serena Alexander, Shanti Augustine, she represented us at the Carifta last year. And while I'm saying this, we have some of the 25 athletes coming from the secondary schools going to represent Grenada at the Carifta. So here you're also getting an opportunity to have an appreciation for these athletes who are going out to represent Grenada at the Carifta. And these are people who have met the standards. And tell you what, the standards in Grenada are high. So for they to make that standard, that's to tell you the quality of the field that we have going on there. So we are imploring on you, the public, to come down to the stadium. Come down to the stadium. The ticket prices for the season ticket for the main stand, it's $60 season. And I believe the first day is, I think, either $15 and 20, then 30. No, I think it's 20, 40, 25, and then 30. But the season is $60. And then we have the secondary pavilion. I believe this season is just a bit lower than that. I cannot remember all the prices off my head. For the bleachers, for the children, the students, so those of you who have students are attending the schools, first day $5, second day $10, third day $15. If they buy a season pass, it's $25 for the 3 days for those students. So it's something that's affordable because of the quality that's going on there. You would say, look, we're not charging you enough to come to Intercol. And that's just a minimal fee to pay to come see your boys, your girls, and support your schools, because each and every one of us, we have an allegiance to a school. We do. So we are encouraging you to come out there and support Intercol, Republic Bank Intercol 2023.
All right. Mr. Mitchell, I want to thank you so much for sharing information with me this morning. And, of course, all best wishes for the games for 2023. I wish you the success to the students, of course, who they come up there, and who are all the athletes also who will be showing all their talents. Certainly hope that we see numerous records being broken. And this year will just be a splendid year in terms for sporting activity here in Grenada. I want to thank you once again. Certainly hope we could have another chance to make another chit-chat before the games occur with just a matter of days. And you know how time flies these days. And we certainly could have to do that before we do. Thank you once again for being on the Mid-Morning Buzz this morning.
Thank you, GT. It's been a pleasure being here.
All right. Blessings goes out to you. Thank you so much. Hey, folks, it's the Mid-Morning Buzz here on Classic 105.5 and GBN TV. And the Mid-Morning Buzz continues shortly. We do have another guest popping in, and we should be entertaining that guest shortly. Stick around with us here on the Mid-Morning Buzz.
Kerani James blazed the tracks at the National Stadium. Anderson Peters dominated at the same venue. Both were elite athletes before moving on to the international circuit. Grenada, the pursuit of glory has returned as secondary schools are back on the track and in the field. And GBN is here to shine the spotlight on our emerging stars. Join us for the live broadcast of the annual Intercol Games on GBN television. Coverage begins 9 a.m. on March 28th. 3 days, 74 events, 23 schools, 2 champions to be crowned. Republic Bank Inter-Secondary Schools Athletics Championship, March 28th, 29th, and the 30th at the Kerani James Athletic Stadium. GBN, with you, everywhere and anywhere.
Made possible by Guardian General Insurance, Rubis, get going, Dasani Water and Power Aid, and the National Lotteries Authority.
Mention the wing high, then you have things like manual force combat, you know. We have the low power that.
It is kind of like you say, man, and it's just different name for the same kind of thing.
And last but not least, I just want to say to all the men who saw me, call me, and ask for a piece of cake. I'm baking this weekend.
Join us Fridays at 8 on GBN Television, K105 FM, GBN's Facebook page and YouTube channel for We Culture.
Looking for that injection of vibes and energy, of course? Well, I've got just that. Hi, my name is Gary Mr. Smooth, and I'm inviting you to join me on the Hot Morning Show on Hot 98.5, 98.7 FM. Weekdays, Monday to Friday, 6 to 10 in the morning. I've got a healthy dose of your favorite and most infectious hits sampled with information, news, laughter, and all the other ingredients that go into making the hottest morning show on the radio, The Morning Heat. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit us up on WhatsApp, 435-7517. We've got topics, we've got discussions, calls, voice notes, and so much more. But I can't tell you everything. You gotta tune in. The Hot Morning Show on Hot FM 98.5, 98.7 with yours truly, Gary Mr. Smooth. Kaboom!
It is important to know what your road signs and markings means. The zigzag lines means you should not park in the marked area. Parking is allowed inside the solid white lines on the edge of the road. Remember, look out for pedestrians. Pedestrians, be sure the vehicle comes to a complete stop before crossing. These tips can save your life. These tips can make our roads safer for all users. Be safe, be seen, be smart. A message from the Traffic Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force.
This way, say welcome to our listeners and viewers. Welcome back, I should actually say, to our listeners and viewers this morning. It's the mid-morning buzz, and I do have a guest in studio with me this morning. We have Miss Sandra Ferguson with us this morning, and she's the chairperson of the Interagency Group of Development Organizations. Hope I got that bit of information there. Good morning to you, Ms. Ferguson. How are you this morning?
Good morning, GT. Good morning to your viewers and listeners, and I'm fine, and how are you?
I'm doing good. Nice to meet you. I mean, always heard about Miss Sandra Ferguson. Never met you before in person.
I think same here.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Our discussion this morning we'll be talking about that expo that is coming, the Climate Solution Expos. And I say expos because actually it's going to be two. Be two of them. Tell us about the expo that is coming. What is happening?
So the Climate Solutions Expo is an activity of a regional project called Enhancing CSO's Access and Readiness for Climate Finance. Okay, so the background. So this is really about a climate-related response. Okay. As we know, this is really a subject now that you hear a lot about, and everybody, I see that
everybody's talking about climate
has
change.
Its own program, in fact, helping to raise people awareness about certain issues. And last year was the hottest year on record.
Yep.
And nobody missed it last year. Nobody missed it last year.
So true.
So basically, there is the importance of CSOs and local community taking action. And all over now we are lobbying for pots of funds that will enable our countries to take action, whether it is what you call mitigating action, right? And when we say mitigation, really it's about ensuring that we could reduce our use of those products like fossil fuels, right, that create the greenhouse gases.
Yes.
Or adapt. We need to adapt. So what action can we take?
All right.
And of course, in the various little places, individuals, communities, organizations are already taking action, and there are some projects as well by the government of Grenada. This is part of a regional project of which the government of Grenada is a participant. It's led by Jamaica, and the Caribbean Natural Resources Institute in Trinidad is the implementing agency for the 7 regional governments. And in each of the participating countries, they have a focal point. So IAGDO is the focal point for Canary.
All right.
So having got that off of in the back of our head, we focus
I wanted
on
to talk
the solutions.
to you about the solutions and the objectives of this particular expo.
So we move on to that now, right? So the objective of the solutions is to provide the opportunity to showcase what people are doing, communities are doing, what organizations are doing as it relates to climate change, to taking action, right, to, as I said, mitigate, adapt, okay? To encourage the public to also be aware of what they can do. Because after last year and that kind of heat, and where some folks were literally baking in their houses, right, I think that everybody is now concerned about what can we do.
And that's where the solutions part comes in.
That's where the solutions part come in. And also it is about encouraging people, individuals, to take responsibility, because we also generate these emissions, which how are we contributing to the problem, and what can we do to solve it or avoid, okay? And of course, there will be an exchange of knowledge. People get an opportunity to see what each other is doing, and so on. So basically, that's the objective.
Tell me in terms of the experts who could be part of this Solution Expo.
Okay, so we are going to be having CSOs,
yes,
and 3 government projects, have also given their commitment to participate. I think I can call their names. The Solid Waste Management Authority, because this year they are promoting composting also, and waste separation. Waste separation. Now, you know that the organic waste that we have in the landfill, and our landfill is rapidly meeting its capacity, right? So we need to talk about waste reduction, but also what valuable product can we convert that organic matter into, because remember, it's fueling the fires that we have been having in the
forests,
in the landfill. It was quite bad, sir, about a couple of years ago. G-Cruise, which is the water project, is the water project that's going on now, increasing capacity, and also, how can we conserve water? How can we use water more efficiently? Because if I may stick a pin here, in the news last week and this week and yesterday, was it yesterday that was International Water Day, or day before?
The day before was International.
Right.
Yesterday was it Forest?
Forest. Right.
Mm-hmm.
International Water Day, the issue of water scarcity, right, and the is now on the international agenda, right? Here we have our periods of drought. As we feel the heat and we look at outside and how brown it is getting, we cannot continue to take water for granted. We have to do our part in using it more efficiently, and we have to also ensure that we do not water production, and the importance of our forests for water production.
How big of an issue would you say is climate change been focused on, especially in our small territories like Grenada and some of the other small islands? How serious of an issue is climate change affecting us?
It is affecting us. It is now described as an existential crisis, because as small islands, we are more adversely impacted than bigger land masses, right? And part of that is the whole issue of hurricanes, right? Hurricanes being more intense, and the issue of longer dry seasons. You have more intense rainfall, okay? But cumulatively, the rain, the amount of rain we get has also been less. And we do not contribute signiubectly to the global problem, but island states, and we also have the sea level rise, so you can already pass along as some of our roads, and you see that our sea is intruding. So for us, it's an issue of continued
I've been hearing conversation
existence.
in the flow that seeing that steeper slope at the Grand Anse Beach and stuff. Now folks are talking about that. Is that all due to climate change?
Well, part of it is also due to the fact that we are accelerating it by doing some things that we ought not to be doing. Like, for example, from the time the agenda, climate change made the agenda in 1997, when I think Grenada submitted its first national report, right? Two things have stuck in my mind. The issue of mangroves and beaches as your points of first defense for sea level rise, and therefore as it relates to hurricanes as well. So we ought not to be promoting coastal development, and if we are going to do coastal development, then we have to ensure that those measures are properly put in place, and therefore the importance of having thorough and rigorous environmental and social impact.
You mentioned when you started that one of the key components of this particular solution Expo is pertaining to the funding that you hope to achieve. for various projects. Tell us about that.
No, I said the project.
The project.
The project is hoping to prepare CSOs to be able to access climate finance.
Okay.
So if I make 2 points on that, a major climate finance fund is the Green Climate Fund, which Grenada is already accessing. And this project, this regional project, is funded by the Green Climate Fund. A requirement of the Green Climate Fund is that you must have adequate CSO participation, because after all, at the end of everything, it's the individual, the households, the communities that are affected. Okay, that is who you have to deal with. And therefore, it is important, it recognizes the importance of empowering individuals and CSOs and communities to act at their level. Now, these international funds, to access it in terms of the administration, it is very, very tiring and could be frustrating. And also, it is not just about development, but it must have the climate change aspect of it. So you might say, all right, we want to support this action. It's good for the community. Yes, it's good for the community. But if you want to access the Climate Finance Fund, you have to go the next step and say, all right, how is this going to solve a climate change challenge?
What are the initiatives are you taking in that particular community, or whatever you want to do?
So of course, we need to understand how to frame it, and what are the other things that we need to look for. There is also the issue of inclusion, and particularly the issue of gender, right? So women also have to be adequately represented in the project.
Okay.
So I take the opportunity to say that just at the end of February, the project is hosting a series of regional workshops for CSOs, and ours was at the end of February. And I must say that we had excellent participation. Every day, on an average, there were 35 participants. And people just didn't come and sit, but there was a lot of engagement and discussion and sharing.
All right. So we see you will be having 2 of those expos, as you mentioned, and the first one will be at is it at the Canal?
The Canal, Teacher Jean's place there.
Bacalet, yes.
Right, and Bailey's Bacalet, yes.
And it's expecting that, of course, the public is invited.
The public is invited, yes. And we'll be open to the public at 11, but we'll have a short official opening at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Put it in perspective. A special feature of that, its theme is climate change is everybody's business.
Yes.
Right? And therefore, it seeks to provide information about what is going on. And some of these things may be of use to you. You should know about it, how you could use it. And we are very pleased that the Environment Department of TAMCC and Mr. Earl Roberts, the acting dean of the continuing studies, right? So a number of students under his leadership and his team would be doing presentations on what they are doing in terms of presenting solutions to some of the challenges. Water storage, solar, waste, how you deal with waste, and a couple other things. So we are very pleased as part of the community service. They are pleased to take part in that expo.
All right.
We are also going to have individuals and organizations, and we're also going to conclude the day with a panel discussion, the focus of which is on climate climate change, health, and the environment. And there are going to be 4 aspects or 4 presentations, which would be on heat and health. Focus on heat and health.
Okay.
Forests and health. Coastal ecosystems and health, and particularly the issue of mangroves. And it will close with what can you do as an individual.
All right, interesting.
Yes. We also have a private sector participant who's going to focus on solar products.
Okay, interesting. And then we move to St. Patrick.
And then we move to St. Patrick's the next week.
And it will be a follow-up of what took place at the Canal.
Yes, except that there will be, it's a different theme. And I want to say this one is being co-hosted by the IAGDO and the Best Practices Farmers Movement.
Okay.
And the theme is local solutions for climate resilient agriculture, food and nutrition security, with a focus on the 4 S's: sovereignty, security, safety, and sustainability. So the farmers group will share what it is doing, what it is advocating, read the issue of what are local knowledge and natural practices. Now, we have a number of species, and we are unaware of the value of those species, both as a food, its nutrition, and also its ability to adapt. Cassava is one of those things, right? Very drought resistant, and also cassava is very, very nutritious. We might be surprised to hear that.
I don't like it though.
You don't like it? Yes, right. So yes, and so we are going, and then we are going to have folks. We are encouraging local, So let's see what you have from these species that we're promoting. Mango is one of those things too.
Okay.
Mango, and every year we talk about how much mango is on the ground and how it's spoiling. Well, what can we do with the mangoes? We have a significant Indian community here, of East Indian origin, either from Guyana or straight from India and, related countries. And I mean, for them, mango is a significant food, right? And maybe we could learn, a thing or two,
So tell me, the both expos will come to a conclusion. Where's the way forward there? What's the way forward now?
After this?
Yes.
Right. Well, first of all, we do hope that each of those expos will enhance people's knowledge about what they can do, what's available, right? And secondly, as part of this project, and that they will also be encouraged, that I should do something, And also that this expo, as part of this project that is seeking to enhance the access, would be part of the marketing, could support the advocacy program as to why it is, we need to ensure that CSOs can access finance to implement community projects at the community level, to address the challenge that we're facing. Because, of course, we all recognize that government has its hands full and cannot reach everybody and do all that is required. And, of course, there is the whole issue of empowering your citizens to take action. Less challenge on you.
So true. So true. Now, has there been any particular field that has been identified by the organization so far that you think a lot of emphasis should be put into in Grenada?
Okay, so I won't say different organizations and their focus. But what is important and a major challenge really is having the access to the funds,
yes,
and having it, not so cumbersome and bureaucratic, you know, so that one is responsive, okay? So, and that is also adequate. Now, there's another project called the Enhanced Direct Access Project. And they also would be participating. Part of that has a fund that can be accessed by individuals. It is implemented, that aspect of it is implemented via the Grenada Development Bank.
Okay.
That is an accredited entity or is in the process of accreditation. But one of the issues has been for COVID, which sort of would have affected the implementation.
Okay,
yeah.
Great. Well, Ms. Ferguson, I want to thank you for sharing information with me. I'm not sure if there's any other thing that you've been able to make that last pitch in terms of the encouragement, especially for the regular individuals out there who may not always have that keen interest in a solution expo like that. To probably come on out and then participate and share the feedback. There are some folks who are feeling the climate change in this country, and they may want to share some information. What's that last bit you would like to give them encouragement to
Well, I would really like them to come out. Climate change is everybody's business.
Yes.
Right? So there is the one on March the 29th, next week Wednesday at the Canal. It concludes with a panel discussion on climate change, health and the environment. We do hope that we'll be able to broadcast it for greater reach, but we have to conclude that. And then, of course, there is the one the week after, which is on April the 5th at the St. Patrick's Anglican School, where we focus in on local solutions for climate resilient agriculture, food, and nutrition. And you may, particularly the younger generation, may learn a thing or two about some species that you didn't know exist. For example, like the moringa tree, right? And how valuable that tree is, stuff like our tamarind, all of these things, we losing them particularly.
So there probably a particular, company out there who may want to participate, probably hearing about this for the first time. What detail, you have any contact details that you'd like to throw that maybe they could get in contact
Well,
with
I can just leave my phone numbers at this time, 405-0797.
All right. 0907?
0797.
0797. All right.
Or the WhatsApp, let me give the WhatsApp, 456-8013.
All right. 456-8013. So, folks, Ms. Ferguson, I want to thank you once again for coming and sharing the information. So, I hope for the success of this particular Solutions Expo. And all the best for it.
Thank you, JT, and GT. And I do hope maybe you may be able to pop by.
I'm not going to give you a soup, but I will try.
I'm not asking you. I'm just saying hope. Thank you very much.
Thanks once again. Thanks for being here. Hey, folks, that's where we take a wrap for today's program of the Mid-Morning Buzz. Join us again for another edition, hopefully next week. That's where I say goodbye for viewers and listeners. Have yourself a lovely day. Say goodbye for you.